Morning gals, this is Deb. I just want to do a video today just talking about natural living. So we talk a lot about beauty and makeup, but often sort of skip around some of the other things we can be doing in the background to really increase our vitality and energy. And there's some really simple stuff. So as most of you know, I'm a qualified holistic health coach as well as a makeup artist. So it's kind of the other hat that I wear sometimes. And you will see it popping up in some of the tutorials and things that I do because it is a big focus for me. So I have made a few notes today just because there's a lot of things I kind of want to cover. I'm seeing a bit of a trend in clients and friends of really low energy and low motivation. And as a health coach, one of my biggest drivers and generally a starting point for me is diet. Because I know that if I can really clean up somebody's body and turn it more towards an alkaline body away from an acidic body that's full of cellular inflammation, that everything changes for them. And this is, when I'm talking about everything, I'm talking mood. So motivation, depression, anxiety, all that sort of thing, and even low sex drive, we're going to talk about libido as well, is all linked to what's happening in your body. Now, you will have heard inflammation mentioned quite a few times when you're in the media and you're looking at different health articles and videos and things. And when they mention inflammation, they're talking about cellular inflammation. So they're not talking that your body's just kind of gone big and inflamed. They're talking about what's happening in every little cell. And there's certain things in diets and triggers that we will eat that will automatically cause inflammation. Now, sugar is one of the biggest things, and there is a lot of airtime now about the effects of sugar. People are quite well informed, but sugar does raise your insulin levels in your body, and this creates a hormonal domino effect for you. So if you are feeling that you've lost your mojo, chances are that your libido is actually suffering from your diet. We all know that sugar increases stress and decreases energy. You feel that after a very highly processed meal. Suddenly you either feel like, the way I describe it is you lose your personality, or you just get really, really tired and you need a nap, you get grumpy, and it's usually just because your body's under load. But you might not be aware how much of a hormone disruptor sugar is, and this is a big thing to be aware of. Sugar actually lowers testosterone in men, the testosterone levels, and it alters the testosterone metabolism in women. So this might be something that you think testosterone is only a guy thing, but it's actually very vital in women as well for our health. And we need it for desire or libido. So if you are feeling that your motivation and your libido is quite low, you want to be looking first at your diet and really start to clean this up. The other thing is with testosterone that it will also help lower body fat in you, it increases your muscle mass, and it gives you a clear memory. So brain fog is a very clear indication that you've got a highly processed diet or too much sugar in your diet. Just ditch the sugars, ditch the bread, ditch the baking products, juices, commercial juices, diet sodas, all that kind of thing. Get it out of your body. So supplements, certainly go to a functional medicine doctor and get sorted out. Get your blood test done and see what's happening if you've got some severe lethargy or something that you think's going on. But two key things that most of us are deficient in because of our soil deficiency worldwide now, and Western Australia is actually one of the worst for soil deficiency. So, we've got to really up the ante a little bit in our diet and also in our supplements. Vitamin D, you want to be taking in the morning, and this is in the form of D3. Most of us are D3 deficient because of the soils and because we tend to be very sun protective here in Australia, so we don't get a lot of natural sunlight coming in either. So D3 in the morning, and you want to be having 5,000 to 10,000 units, so get a good quality dose one. And magnesium at night. Now magnesium is great just to keep your digestive system moving well, also to relax muscles and will promote sleep. So if you have issues with sleep, magnesium's fantastic, but do take it at night and take your vitamin D in the morning. Serotonin. We probably have heard about serotonin before. It's one of our neurotransmitters. It's known as a feel-good neurotransmitter. Some people call it a hormone, but it's actually a neurotransmitter. And this is where we start to really look at gut health. So I'll post a picture below which kind of explains how our brain is so closely linked to our gut. And you will hear often the gut referred to as the second brain. Now what they're talking about there is actually our ENS, which is our enteric nervous system, which is a network of neurons that stems from the brain and it has a direct link to the gut. And it actually spreads two layers deep into the gut tissue. So this is how important it is and how central it is actually to gut function. It's capable, the ENS is actually capable of working by itself, of autonomy, but it also influences the brain. And this is why sometimes when after a heavy meal, you get brain fog and you can't think clearly and usually get very grumpy is actually pretty much the standard reaction. So we want to really clear up what's happening in our diet, just to clear out what's happening in the gut, because in the gut is where two of our key neurotransmitters are mostly created. Now dopamine, we kind of hear about dopamine a lot. It is produced 50% in the gut. And 50% in the brain. And this influences a lot of things like motivation, fatigue, addictive behavior, mood swings, and definitely memory as well. And high sugar, high insulin diet will definitely be reducing the production of dopamine in the gut. And the serotonin, which is the one we spoke about briefly before, the feel-good neurotransmitter, is known as a great mood stabilizer. So this is the one that actually does make you feel happy to a degree. Now 95% of serotonin is created in your gut, only 5% in the brain. So now you can start to see a picture of why cleaning up your diet and balancing your hormones is so important to actually how you feel and behavior. So mood is so closely linked to behavior. Conditions such as Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, and even autism are all thought to originate in the gut, and usually from a virus, usually from an external environmental toxin that becomes a virus, but that spreads to the brain via the vagus nerve, a very large nerve which has a direct connection from the gut to the brain. Again, starting to see the picture of how important it is as to what we put in our body. So how can you get around this? Firstly, pull out the sugars and the processed foods. And processed foods, the primary ones are things like diet sodas. We're talking bread and all sorts of bread products, anything that's not natural and not man-made. So your diet wants to be rich in whole foods to promote better digestion and also to reduce the cellular inflammation. Now, cellular inflammation is always the beginning, the precursor to any major conditions. So anything like diabetes, heart conditions, we're talking any autoimmune conditions, cancer, big one, it always starts with cellular inflammation, and that just means that the cells aren't happy. They feel like they're under attack. There is something in the gut that the body does not recognize or it can't process, and it sends in the white blood cells and starts fighting a mighty battle. And this is where inflammation starts. So it really is up to you as to what you put in your body, and a few other things which we're going to talk about in a second. So just really think about when you're eating, try to eat foods that really support your hormones and don't make it harder for your body. So we want low glycemic, low sugar products is the biggest thing that you want to look at, which means lots of leafy greens, a whole rainbow of vegetables, because you get all sorts of different minerals and vitamins from the different colors in veggies. Then add in your good fats. Good fats are so important, and something that a lot of people, when they're going on supposedly like a low carb diet kind of thing, they forget about the fats. Now the fats, good fats, we're talking about things like grass-fed meat, wild fatty fish like salmon, avocado, the big one, coconut oil. You want to be cooking with coconut oil as much as possible. and nuts and seeds. And then you've got your high fiber foods, add in things like lentils and blueberries, very natural, very high in antioxidants, and ditch the inflammatory foods like dairy. This is super, super important. Big triggers for most people are gluten and dairy and wheat. And obviously, if you're pulling out all your baked goods and your dairy, you're going to be taking care of most of these big and inflammatory products that we can eat. The next thing is to really look at your environment around you and start removing toxins that are external to you. There are some huge endocrine disruptors, and again, this imbalances all your hormones. We're talking things like plastics, cleaning chemicals in the house, personal care, and cosmetic items. You want to be limiting things like lead, BPA, and definitely parabens. Parabens mess up your hormones like nothing. Now, this is a huge reason why I work with Unique, the natural makeup company from the US, paraben free, free of all harsh chemicals, and their philosophy is basically that they just refuse to put any chemical in the product. And when they do need to put in something like a stabilizer, they choose the best of the chemicals that are on offer, the most natural. And you do notice the difference, and you see the difference on your skin, and your skin starts improving, and it looks, starts to glow because it's not encumbered by all this sort of heavy makeup and skin and shampoo products and stuff that we're putting over our body daily. So really, please go through your products. Honestly, even at the supermarket, there are so many shampoos, conditioners, body soaps that are paraben free, sulfate free. So please go through and do a little bit of due diligence and just choose better step by step. Even if it's something that you're cleaning up one by one, just every week make sure that something improves in your personal care and your cleaning products in the house, so that you really are minimizing the damage to your hormones from the external environment. The next thing you really want to look at is stress. We can't help but have stress in our busy lives, but things like meditation, and it can just be 5 minutes a day. Don't think you have to do some great Buddhist kind of meditation where you travel off to another realm, but just closing your eyes and really getting in touch with your breathing and letting that, really bringing in the oxygen through your cells and really just allowing them to relax. Let the thoughts come in as they come in. Don't try to block things and go, oh, I should be not thinking of anything. That's pretty difficult. Not many people get to the complete clear mind meditation, but just letting the body relax and breathing, taking some time out and just stopping is so, so important. Yoga is great. So many yoga classes and Pilates classes around if you do need to get back into your body. And so many of us in this modern day world are out of our bodies. You want to get back into your body, back into your breath. And this also obviously helps reduce inflammation in the cells as well. And good sleep. So things like, just please get all electronics out of the bedroom. This is going to help you with your libido too. Things like mobile phones, do not have them next to your bed. If you've got an electric alarm clock, turn it off. The EMF that comes out of everything in the bedroom, TVs, iPads, just get it out of the bedroom. Once you get to bed, and even the half hour before, shut down all electronics, turn off the TV, have a cup of tea, read a book, have a chat. I mean, how about one-to-one conversation? That's kind of a dying art these days. But just reduce the stress loads, and just every now and then just detach from those electronics. It is not necessarily our 24/7, even though it feels like it sometimes. And the other big thing is movement. Just get moving. You don't have to be a big athlete, but get your body moving so your lymphatics are moving, which drains all the toxins out, starts to make you feel good. Suddenly you get a little bit of endorphins coming through. You start eating better. You get more serotonin produced through your gut and your ENS. And then suddenly everything's just feeling better and happier. So seriously, my key to happiness, take out the bad stuff and put in the good stuff. And it's a very simple approach, but this is what I use with my health coaching, and it's what I use in my life as a mantra. And it's a very simple approach. It's not complex, kind of like my makeup techniques. Pare it back, get back to simplicity, get back to basics. Your skin will start glowing more. Your weight will drop. Because the thing is, when we're stressed, our body has a high level of cortisol, which is our stress hormone. And cortisol is like a fat holding machine. As soon as you relax and you drop the cortisol in your body, you stop the stress in your digestive tract from eating better, you reduce the inflammation. Once that cortisol drops, that weight literally drops off. So that's another benefit. And it's funny, guys, it's sometimes we just get caught up in habit of doing the same thing again and again, and we just think that's us. I can't not eat bread. Some of my clients are so funny. They're like, I just can't do that. I can't give up pizza or donuts or whatever it is. It's just it's so important to me, and it's not. They might think it is because it's something that they've relied on, but once you actually change things up, once you sort of, and my way is to kind of force good food in so that it pushes out the bad stuff. And it's not necessarily me saying don't have donuts, but as soon as we put in a couple of green smoothies and up the green intake, the chemistry inside starts to change and they start to feel different. And this is where everything starts to switch. And my wish for all my clients is that we can get their body to such a nice, clean, neutral state that all their dreams and desires start to come up and their intuition starts to play a bigger part in their life, and they start to know things intuitively, what they should eat, what decision, should I take this job, should I not. It really things start to flow in the life, and your direction is more natural, and fed from actually, what is your purpose and your future. And this is the gold part of what I do as a health coach, but you can be your own health coach. You don't need a health coach. You can put simple things like this into place, and don't underestimate the upside and the feeling of just winning by doing little things every day that really, really help you and really move you forward. Going to bed at night, reviewing the day and just going, I did that. I did get up earlier. I did exercise. I didn't eat any carbohydrates for breakfast. I didn't get an energy crash in the afternoon. I didn't give in to that chocolate binge. I did do that homework, whatever it is. You just give yourself a pat on the back for what you did do. A little bit of gratitude, and just for what you are achieving, because all too often we want something else and we're not really present. We're not really thinking, well, actually what I've got and what I'm doing is quite great. And then just putting little improvements on top of that. So I hope this video has helped. I've really been wanting to do a natural video for a while, and just to talk about the holistic approach, because that's what I am as a health coach. I don't just look at diet. I mean, I don't write diet plans for anyone. I don't write out exercise plans. I give the overview picture of what we can introduce into the life to really start to clean things up, and just to live a better life. So any questions, as always, just message me direct. We can have a chat, and I'd love to see this starting to be implemented into your lives. Thanks, guys. Bye.